So, today I'd like to talk about a job posting that we've done. And we're going to start with a video where there's someone who is actually demonstrating what I want done to my Excel spreadsheet. So, you can see he has a drop-down menu with a list of items that's on that list to the right. And what he's doing is he's created a text box where he can type in a word or piece of a word, as you'll see in a second. Alright, and when he types in a few of the letters, there's a suggestion coming from the drop down with specific words only including those letters which he typed into the box. So this is a function which I would like to have on one of my personal Excel spreadsheets, and that is essentially what I would like done for my job. Right? And it'll give you another demonstration here in the video really fast. That's the function which I am looking for in my Excel spreadsheet, is to create a text box with a suggestive drop. So let's go over to the sheet itself that I want the work done on. So here's the Excel sheet that I've created, and as you can see there's a bunch of name range columns that are, and this is on the data entry tab. This is where all my name range columns are. So the first one you see muscle slash movement or underscore movements, and underneath there's abs, right? So there's a bunch of different lists, words on the list, and those are actually other name range columns in themselves. So hip dominance is another name range column, and it's under the muscle movements column. Quad dominant, upper push, upper pull. There's a bunch of them, and they have a particular function that they all work as drop-down menus on my other pages. So if you see here, we're going to the name range, and that's the adaptations name range. Right? And if you look, it includes the entire A column. Everything's included. Right? That's the name range column for adaptations. Right? You go down, you can find other name range columns. Intensity is another name range column. And if you look in the intensity name range column, you see that it includes everything in column B under intensity. Okay. Go to mode. Mode is another name range column, which includes the mode of exercise. And again, mode is another name range column that includes the entire C column, right? So again, these are all the name ranges. Now, if we go to one of my actual spreadsheets, you'll see that on different, and I've actually changed this so that all the drop-down columns are highlighted in gray. But if you see, there's a bunch of different drop-down menus, and with the basic data validation, I've created lists where it equals the name of the name range column, right? So that means the block column and such. As you can clearly see, there's the name range column, which goes into the drop down, and that links back to my initial data entry tab spreadsheet where all the information is stored. So that's the block column again, and I set it up so that if I click down there, I can choose different things. So then we have adaptations is another column, mode is another column, right? And we have that. Again, it's just a very basic data validation. It equals mode, which is the name range column that was on the data entry sheet. And as you can clearly see, that's where it's collecting the data. Right. Now, if we look at this column, this is the muscles underscore movements column, and I created this in a way that in which when you change something on the muscles movements column, so if I change it, for instance, to abs ISO, under the exercise column, the name range column abs ISO, it becomes the drop down in this particular range, right? Into this particular box, right? So then that's abs ISO, and all the ab isolation exercises are listed here. There's a couple of them. But then if I change in the muscles movement column I change that to core anti-extension. Then, on the exercise column, the list of exercise changed to the core anti-extension name range column. So that's how I have and the only two name range columns that work here is muscle / movements and exercises. Those are the only dependent drop-down menus where if I change something in the muscle movements column, it changes something on the exercise column to match the name range under the muscle movements. That's how I have that set up. And that is something that's important to take note of too. And that's for everything in the muscles movement column and everything in the exercise column. All those blocks are dependent. No other name range columns are dependent on each other. The order column is a column within itself, same as the sets, the reps, the intensity. These columns are all non-dependent. And again, when I send you the file, all the drop-down boxes are highlighted in gray so that you won't have to guess what's going where. But if we look at all these, so essentially what I want to have happen is, if you looked at that YouTube video, there was the suggestion drop-down box, and I want to implement the suggestion drop-down box into the drop-down menus on all of my pages. So this is the warm-up page where there's some other columns, and I made the changes on this one too to highlight everything in gray. That's a drop-down box. And again, the name range columns would match everything here. So these, again, this is the data entry. And what I want it all to do is that every single drop-down column, right, would have a search suggestive drop-down box, which would save me a lot of time when creating clients exercise programs using this spreadsheet. Alright, and that is the job which I want done. I'll send the links to all the pages for instructions, and let me know if you would be able to do it.